The moment the camera flickers on, there is silence, a strange, electric silence that feels like the world is holding its breath. And then, right there in the center of the frame, stands Shohei Ohtani, holding something that instantly stops everyone in their tracks. A cake. Not just any cake, an MVP cake. And before the mind even processes why this is so shocking, the clip explodes across social media like wildfire. What is he doing? Why is he there? And why does he look, dare we say it, more relaxed, more human, more effortlessly charming than ever before? The offseason had barely begun, yet Shohei's quiet visit to a local spot turned into a moment the internet wasn't ready for. No stage lights, no roaring crowd, no towering stadium behind him. Just Shohei, and a cake, and a smile that could melt half the winter snow. But the real shock wasn't the cake itself. It was the reaction. Because the people around him didn't scream, didn't swarm, didn't treat him like the most famous athlete on the planet. Instead, they reacted with something warmer, something softer, something that felt like watching a hometown kid come back after achieving the impossible. You could feel the admiration ripple through the room, quiet but powerful, like a heartbeat everyone shared. Someone whispered, "They're both so cute." They didn't mean just Shohei. The cake was decorated like a miniature celebration of his legendary season, a tiny tribute to a giant accomplishment. It was funny, it was sincere, and it was impossibly wholesome. And that's when the moment transformed from a simple off-season sighting into something cinematic. Because there he stood, the face of global baseball, holding a cake like he wasn't the biggest superstar alive. Like he wasn't the player who broke history, rewrote records, and redefined what an athlete can be. He looked happy. The kind of happy that only shows up when the spotlight is off and the heart is unguarded. The camera zooms slightly, catching the sparkle in his eyes, an expression that belongs not to a superstar, but to a man who's finally breathing. But here's the twist. This wasn't just cute. It wasn't just wholesome. It was symbolic, almost poetic. Because all season long, Shohei carried the weight of expectations that no one else in the sport could understand. Every swing, every pitch, every step was followed by millions of eyes. Analysts dissected his every move. Critics questioned his choices. Fans demanded miracles. And somehow, he delivered them anyway. But now, right now, he's carrying nothing but a cake. And the room reacts not to the MVP legend, but to the quiet, genuine Shohei beneath it all. People step forward, not shouting, but smiling, holding their phones like they're afraid to disturb the moment. A couple kids shyly wave at him. An older fan whispers, "He's even nicer in person." And Shohei, he bows softly. He laughs. His cheeks turn the slightest shade of pink. It's the kind of moment money can't buy, fame can't fabricate, and highlight reels can never capture. A moment that reminds everyone that sometimes the most unforgettable scenes in sports happen far away from stadiums, far away from scoreboards, far away from pressure. Because what happens next is the kind of thing that feels scripted, yet was completely real. As he lifts the cake a little, almost proudly, the small crowd applauds, not the thunderous applause of a packed ballpark, but the warm applause of people who genuinely appreciate him as a human being. And for a brief second, Shohei's expression softens into something deeper. Something meaningful. Something grateful. He looks like a man who finally realizes how much people adore him not just for what he does, but for who he is. The camera pans to the cake. Again, playful, colorful, almost childlike, and suddenly, the contrast hits like a cinematic cut. How could something so simple represent someone so extraordinary? But that's the magic of Shohei Ohtani. The duality, the contrast, the mystery, the unstoppable giant of baseball, and the humble man holding a cake. Two halves of the same legend. And as he walks out, the room stays frozen in awe, as if they've just witnessed something far more meaningful than an MVP visiting in the offseason. They saw authenticity. They saw heart. They saw the human side of a hero. A moment that no trophy presentation, no award ceremony, no high-budget montage could ever replicate. Because sometimes, greatness doesn't shout. Sometimes, it smiles. Sometimes, it holds a cake. And the reactions online proved it. Millions replayed the clip. Millions commented on how cute the moment was. Millions felt something pure, something warm, something deeply human. In a world obsessed with stats, numbers, contracts, and headlines, this small moment brought everyone back to the reason sports matter in the first place. Connection, emotion, humanity. Shohei didn't hit a home run in that moment. He didn't throw a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. He didn't break another record. But he did something far more powerful. He reminded the world that even legends have soft moments, and that sometimes, the sweetest victories come not from the field, but from the heart. And as the clip fades to black, one thought lingers, quiet, emotional, and impossible to shake. If this is how Shohei Ohtani carries himself in the offseason, imagine the magic he'll bring when the lights turn back on.